Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the District 42 Toastmasters webinar. District 42 serving Southern Alberta and Southern Saskatchewan Toastmasters. Our presentation tonight is Speechcraft, your club's #1 membership building tool. Few housekeeping notes during the session. You'll be asked to participate throughout, and you may do so by typing questions or comments in the chat window, or by unmuting yourself. There is a blue microphone icon at the bottom of the screen. We do ask that you please keep your line muted during the presentation to eliminate any background noise. We'll have time for questions also at the end of this presentation. This presentation is being recorded and posted on the District 42 website at d42tm.org. Our presenters this evening are Connie Paus and Bev Ward. They belong to Wild Oats Toastmasters Club located, they meet downtown Regina, Saskatchewan on Mondays at noon in Knoxmet Church. Wild Oats has conducted a Speechcraft program at their club for many years now. A little bit about our presenters. Connie has been a member of Wild Oats since 1990, and Bev Ward joined the club in 1993. And they both describe themselves as Toastmaster lifers. They have both been Division B Toastmaster of the Year, and both have won the Division B Peter Francis Communication and Leadership Award. Bev has been President of the Year, Connie has been Division B Governor, and together they co-chaired the 2007 Spring Convention in Regina. Bev Ward is our social media coordinator for District 42 this year, and Connie Paus was the winner of the District 42 Table Topics when we held the contest here in Regina just a couple weeks ago. I'll now pass it over to Connie and Bev on Speechcraft, your club's #1 membership building tool.
Well, thanks very much, Catherine, for those kind words, and thanks to everyone who is listening in. We appreciate your attendance, and we hope that you will follow along in the Speechcraft guide. We'll be referring to those page numbers from time to time. As Catherine mentioned, Wild Oats has a history of Speechcraft that goes back to 2003. So we've been holding Speechcraft every year since then, and we have found it to be extremely effective in terms of converting those Speechcrafters into real members that have stayed with us for quite some time.
The Speechcraft program is designed for beginners in public speaking, and just like is the tradition in Toastmasters, it's a hands-on program. It provides the how-to and some practical experience in both public speaking and developing leadership skills. Compared to many other public speaking and leadership courses, it's very cost-effective, and it promotes an atmosphere of professional camaraderie for those amongst those people who are dedicated to personal improvement. Toastmasters allows you to tailor their programs, and so does Speechcraft. So you can tailor the Speechcraft program to meet your personal objectives, and each member can do that and each club can do that. We'll talk a bit more about that later. It's intended, as I said, for beginners, and it's often the first step for participants to overcome their fear of public speaking and to counteract their lack of confidence to perform and to actually gain confidence. Experienced Toastmasters who are the members of your club or the members of any other Toastmasters club who wishes to help each other do the Speechcraft program present the fundamentals of public speaking, and we hope this is happening in a relaxed and an enjoyable atmosphere for everyone. And through involvement of everyone, the tools will be given so that experienced members can share their skills with the new Speechcrafters.
So why would you want to do Speechcraft? We want you to unmute yourself right now and shout out or provide us with some of your feedback on why Speechcraft would be a benefit for your members and for your club as a whole. So I'm turning it over to each of you now to speak.
I think for myself, I believe there's people out there that won't or don't want to commit, and the Speechcraft is a way to get them introduced to Toastmasters without committing to a long-term program.
Anybody else?
I think another good thing is to speed up their. You often see clubs where a member joins or a person joins, they don't do a speech like for months. The Speechcraft gets them more into the pace quickly, and once they start seeing their own progress, they buy into it much faster, get more excited, and they get rolling faster.
Right. John, what have you got to tell us? Put you on the spot here.
I've got the same thing as Catherine. It introduces you to the Toastmasters program and how you can do your speeches.
Okay, it does. It does all of that. And so those are all good suggestions. Some of the reasons that we have come up with are, first of all, new members. As I mentioned, Wild Oats has gained members from it. Respite for your members, because I know that we have struggled and we go through the ebbs and flows of membership, and sometimes you get really tired if you're doing multiple meeting roles, and it's just hard with just a few members. So you can get respite really from the day-to-day regular meeting roles by conducting Speechcraft. As a club, it brings you together, so it does provide you with a bit of a unifying force because you're working towards a common goal. We devote a lot of our Speechcraft time, and we're going to tell you more about that, to education and education pieces through these weeks. So the education for members and for the Speechcrafters, because we sign up our Speechcrafters as members of Toastmasters International, there's mentorship opportunities. It brings in cash, helps us to build leaders because we rotate the role of the Speechcraft coordinator. It's a service because sometimes people just need a 10 or an 8-week program to meet some objectives, and it's a challenge. It's always a challenge when you do something new, and the challenge is something that the club can rise towards. In terms of education opportunities for our Toastmasters as well, there are some very specific ones. If you have Toastmaster members working towards their Advanced Communicator Gold, one of the requirements is a Success Communication program. Speechcraft does meet that requirement. It allows our presenters, our regular members, to do presentations from the Better Speaker and Successful Club presentations. Those are important for various designation. Manual speeches are conducted. It can be a CL project for mentorship, again, because we register our Speechcrafters as members. And it can even be used as an HPL for the coordinator, depending on what the coordinator's needs might be.
When we first started doing Speechcraft, we weren't really clear how it worked or what it was all about. We just thought it was a great idea. There is on for sale from Toastmasters International the Speechcraft kit, and in that Speechcraft kit, and we'll tell you more about that later, is the Speechcraft handbook. That handbook is quite similar in speeches to the basic communication manual. So there's a variety of short speeches, and one skill builds upon another. By the end of the Speechcraft session, each Speechcrafter should have given at least 3 speeches, and depending how it's organized and how many Speechcrafters, some may also have given 4 speeches. During each of our Speechcraft meetings, we also conduct a table topics session. So, of course, we know table topics helps the participants to learn to think and speak clearly and effectively on their feet. Of course, in the Toastmasters tradition, after a Speechcrafter gives a speech, then they'll receive some constructive feedback, beginning with the feedback being given by an experienced Toastmaster. By the end of the Speechcraft session, though, the Speechcrafters themselves will be providing the feedback and giving the evaluations. As the Speechcraft program progresses, then skills are learned and practiced the way we always do in Toastmasters. And of course, we wouldn't be good Toastmasters if we weren't encouraging people to stay. So our hope is that by the end of the course, Speechcrafters will be encouraged. They'll get a new sense of confidence and a sense of accomplishment, and they'll feel that they wish to continue to be members in our club. Connie mentioned, and we'll talk to you more about the education sessions that we do as part of each of the Speechcraft meetings. Listening to these educational sessions provides learning opportunities not only for our Speechcrafters, but for all of the members in our club, and for sure for anyone who happens to be a guest at that particular meeting.
I already talked about benefits and challenges, like why you should do Speechcraft. This experience really can help unite a club because it provides a focused purpose, and it really can foster some enthusiastic leadership and teamwork amongst club members. There are opportunities to stretch and challenge the potential of each one of us. It's a different experience being a teacher and a trainer, and through Speechcraft we have those opportunities each and every week. The fact that you get leadership credit for the presentations and speeches is an added plus. It certainly is a challenge, but the potential rewards are great. On page 3 of the Speechcraft guide, you'll see a little bit more about this.
In a moment, I'm going to ask you to respond to the question about who you might target as potential Speechcrafters. But first, I'm going to tell you a little story. Immediate past International President Jim Kokoski is a fan of going to a noodle house that he particularly likes. The lady who runs this noodle house has just recently won a business award for her noodle house. She won this award before, but when she was asked by the press to give an interview, she declined because she didn't feel confident to speak to the press. Now, if you think having won an award and then being interviewed, what that could do for the public relations and probably her business, but she wasn't able to do that. So this is to tell you, don't discount anyone. Maybe the proprietor of your favorite restaurant would be a good person to ask. So please unmute yourselves and just shout out who some other people you think might be good people to target to be part of your club Speechcraft.
For us, I think a good target market would be, honestly, elected officials within city government would be a great place to try to get them in there because they speak in front of the public all the time.
Good suggestion. Anyone else? How about you, Terry? Anybody that you can think of?
Well, just working at Shaw, there's a number of people that are supposed to, take turns presenting at their group meetings, and we've gained at Shawmasters a few members simply because they heard about us, and they right away said that they want to be a little bit more relaxed and in control when they, present at their group meetings. So we gained a few members that way. So those are the ones to sell as well on Speechcraft.
For sure. Catherine, I know you're one of the queens of convincing people they need to belong to Toastmasters. Who would you suggest?
Well, I've definitely been targeting people at my workplace, and we've also... there a lot of times there's people that are preparing for an upcoming event, an upcoming presentation. We had a gentleman who belonged or worked at the elected official, city of Regina, and he was preparing for some big events that were coming up that he was emceeing. So I know there's folks out there who are emceeing events or have to do a big presentation, that this would really help them polish their skills before they get up there.
Absolutely. You've covered a large variety of the types of things that we wanted to talk to you about. And not only have you done that by targeting people, you've actually given a little speech that you can use to convince them that they should be part of your Speechcraft. Of course, we talk about Speechcraft and Toastmasters in the communication aspect, and we certainly want to promote that, but also there's some leadership things. What about that manager at work who has trouble conducting a meeting? The 15 minutes of information that takes an hour and a half to deliver in a meeting that nobody really wants to be at, maybe because they don't feel comfortable or because they don't know how to run a meeting. So anyone who's expected to lead anything at work, whether it be a large or small group or some additional people, this might be a good time of the year that people might be preparing, for example, to be a master of ceremonies at an upcoming wedding this summer. This will give them some time to really get their plans made and get their practice underway. Speechcraft is ideal also for people who don't want to make a long-term commitment, who are, as you say, just preparing for some special event, or for people who are just trying to get better at what they do and don't want to make an ongoing commitment. We hope that they will after they're done their initial 8 to 10 weeks, but in reality, that's another selling time. We'll teach you a certain number of things, and you can learn certain things within an 8 to 10 week time frame, and that's another selling thing. So thank you very much. You could re-mute yourselves if you haven't already, and thanks for your contribution to those answers.
So we've talked about who you want to reach. The big question now becomes, how are you going to do this? How are you going to advertise Speechcraft? And again, it's your opportunity to unmute yourself and talk about that. Share some of the ideas and some of the places where you think you would be able to advertise. Unmute.
I've had the opportunity to advertise Speechcraft at work. We have an intranet at work, and I've been able to advertise Toastmasters or put up posters around the office.
Right?
The other place you can do besides that is if they have especially in an office building, if they have what they call electronic display in the elevators or even in the lobby, if you can get it up on those.
Right, making use of your building and your workplace. Anywhere else?
If you have your club newsletter that you distribute to public places or your workplace, you could advertise them there, or any other place your club advertises, even on your club website.
Okay, right? Yeah, your club
website, and there's also, there's lots of free online community, Kijiji or used, whatever your community is. There's lots of online places. A lot of times people are out looking for those kind of programmings and just doing web searches.
For sure, that we can't discount the digital aspect of advertising. It's extremely powerful. You've given us some really, really good answers. One of the resources that Bev found and adapted was an internet poster, and it's in the Speechcraft guide on page 5. What we have done is provided that to all of our members for circulation to their own networks of people. It allows the individual to customize it with their own contact information, because when each person puts it up within their own contacts with their contact information, it's that personal endorsement that seems to have a lot more power than just saying to contact club number, whatever your generic club contact information is. We mentioned public sites, posters, whether they be at libraries, community centers. There's newspapers, some of which will do some free advertising. There's coffee newses. Catherine mentioned her intranet at her employer, and if you have a diverse group of members working at a diverse group of places, there's a lot of different workplaces that you can reach. There are some professional organizations that require speaking components, and Speechcraft is often recognized as fulfilling that. We circulate our poster to our other Toastmaster friends as well, never to take away from their clubs, but to reach out to people that we can't. And again, as what Bev said in the previous slide, people who might not want ongoing membership, but if we're offering a Speechcraft and nobody else is, that might be useful. Some of our Speechcrafters have actually gone on to join other clubs and become very strong members, so we're contributing to the organization as a whole. And we also advertise at other Toastmasters events within our division, expanding our reach as much as possible. The D42 Promoter Contest might give someone a reason to promote your Speechcraft, because the whole ask might get them closer to one of Catherine's wonderful prizes.
There we go. I'm going to get that jacket sooner than I thought. What we've been telling you is our own personal story. We hope that you'll be able to take something from this that will work for you, something you could take away and perhaps modify if you need. We've tried a lot of very different approaches. We've done the Speechcraft as part of our club meetings. We started back in 2003 as an evening project, even though we were a noon hour club and still are a noon hour club. We did it in the evenings. So whatever you think might work for you. As far as the length of time, I think our first one was an hour and a half or 2 hours long, even though we normally have our meetings in 1 hour. We've had different pricing. It really depends on how much it costs you to put on the program. So you'll need to do your budget. You'll need to figure out the cost of your room and any materials and photocopying. And if you're providing food or things like that, then you'll have to include that in your cost. We've asked our participants for feedback. We have an evaluation form that we give out, and we try to make adjustments whenever possible so that we can maintain a balance between good value for the program as well as making it a reasonable length and a reasonable cost. The reality is that because of our fixed time frame, Speechcraft doesn't provide the set your own pace that we normally see in the Toastmasters program or that we promote on the program. It's really rapid and it's a fixed program. Last year, a fellow by the name of Todd was the coordinator in our club, and he told the participants at the first meeting that Speechcraft is performance enhancing, but it's not illegal. And that really is true. It really does enhance people's performances. We tried doing it in 8 weeks. We've tried doing it in 10 weeks. We have tried, as I said, a mix of times and a mix of locations and a mix of whatever we could see that we tried to do to improve the program. Right now, we do our Speechcraft for 1 hour. We're going to tell you a bit more about that coming right up, and it's done inside our club meetings. Speechcraft should not cost you anything. It should pay for itself, and we can even get a bit of funds out of it as long as the fees are being reasonable and we're being reasonable in what we can justify as the cost of it. So the one thing you have to think about is that people sometimes judge the value of a program on how much it costs. Something that's free doesn't always receive as much perception of being valuable. So make sure that you don't sell yourself short. As long as you do a budget and promote it, you should be doing okay.
Now, as Bev mentioned, our 2016 version, our current model, has moved to doing Speechcraft during our regular club meeting time, which is 1 hour each Monday at noon. We meet at our regular location and we accept between 4 and 6 participants for an 8-week time slot. Our regular agendas are set aside, and we have a special agenda devoted to the Speechcraft program. What we've found is that as a club, it's more convenient for us to adjust our regular meetings than to find another time slot and place that works for enough club members to conduct the Speechcraft. It means that we don't have to do another ask of our members to devote extra time in their own personal schedule. And as we've mentioned a couple of times, we've included full Toastmaster membership as part of the registration fee. Although we start our Speechcraft in February, we actually register the participants on April 1st so that they can get their 6-month membership fee.
You'll see a bit of information on the screen as an example of what a schedule might look like. This is not our 2016 schedule. I think we start the 20th. Whatever the Monday is after the long weekend in February is when we normally start. We do not have a session on Easter Monday. Now, that might not affect everyone, but since we are a Monday club, that's a day that we won't meet as Speechcrafters. We do, though, generally hold a club meeting that day. We also require a couple of meetings during that time frame for our speech contests. We certainly encourage our Speechcraft members to come to both our Easter Monday meeting and our Speechcrafts, although it's not part of the program. We do welcome their attendance. We are charging this year and last year $150 for the participants. We offer an early bird registration for those people who register early, and we do invoice members if they wish to be invoiced. We can also invoice employers if the potential Speechcrafter requests that we do that. And our club also accepts electronic transfer of funds to make it easy for people to pay. We've only been doing that for a couple of years, but I think that our experience with that has been really good and people just love it. And as Connie said, that includes the membership in Toastmasters International for 6 months.
Now, what you see on the screen right now is the 8-week plan that we've done. I mentioned that we've had multiple variations over the years. The version in the Speechcraft guide is the 10-week version, but this is what our current 8-week plan looks like. The outline is filled in advance before Speechcraft starts, so as people register, their names are slotted into when they're going to be doing their speeches. The Speechcraft coordinator also generally even knows who's going to be doing what education session, so that's known well in advance. And a copy of this is provided to each of the participants so that they know when they're going to be speaking, at least in terms of their manual speeches. As you can see in the notes area, the progression of the Speechcrafters also carries forward where Speechcraft volunteer to be humorous next meeting and onward. Speechcraft volunteer to give the toast the next meeting and onward. So as the weeks unfold, the Speechcrafters are doing more and more and more of your regular meetings. Our agenda also provides a speaking slot for our regular members so that they can continue with their own manual projects. And this is the 10-week plan that's in the book on page 6 of the delivery guide.
You'll see a list of possible educational topics. There's a whole plethora of educational topics that Toastmasters International offers. We strategically place these in our agenda. So if you look at the sample 10-week agenda that's on page 6 of the guide, you'll see that our very first education session starts with impromptu speaking because, as I told you, we do table topics at every meeting and we expect that our Speechcrafters will participate, so they'll need to know a bit about impromptu speaking before they begin that. Then the next 2 topics are selecting your topic and organizing your speech, because the first Speechcraft speech is like all Toastmaster speeches, and that's your icebreaker. After that, members have to start writing their own speeches on the topics that they select, and we want to give them some information about actually selecting their topics, organizing their speeches, preparing and practicing those. And as the weeks go on, we've strategically positioned the topics so that people learn things that they're going to practice. This isn't set in stone by any means, and how you decide to organize your topics is up to you for sure. We ask Toastmaster members rather to be the presenters. Now, you can certainly partner with other clubs and you can give educational speeches at their Toastmasters meetings or at their Speechcraft meetings, and you can ask members from other clubs to come and help you out. We've been doing this over the years. Some of the topics also nicely pair with the youth leadership program. I've been doing a table topic session, educational session at both Speechcrafters, at my club and other clubs, as well as youth leadership for a few years now. So you can make the best and take advantage of participation and partnership with other Toastmasters clubs.
It's important that we add value for all of the participants. Certainly they are getting speaking value through the Speechcraft program, but there are also other extras that they're going to gain. As a club, we have used in the past some supplemental resources, which you've seen some of them listed on the guide on page 6. Those include tips and information on various topics. Because the members are going to be registered with Toastmasters International according to our model, they're going to get a new member kit. So there's some tremendous value there because they get all the supplemental manuals that Toastmasters International provides. They're going to then start receiving their Toastmaster magazine. We encourage them to visit our club website, the Toastmasters International website. All of these things are designed to help them create a Toastmaster habit. It's part of the ongoing sales process that we really do use. It's subtle, but it certainly is there to try to retain these people as members of our club. One of the things that we do in Wild Oats is we have a weekly email that's sent from our secretary. It's sent to all of our members and any guests. It provides a synopsis of the meeting. It's a great mechanism to circulate additional handouts to Speechcrafters and members alike, because some of the tips and the handouts that we have that we've done for Speechcrafters are really good reminders for our members at large.
Before we move on, I just want to take a minute to point out a couple of things in your Speechcraft delivery guide that hopefully you're all being able to follow along in. I neglected to mention before that it's very important that our educational sessions be no more than 7 minutes long so that our meeting doesn't go more than an hour. If you have more time, then you'll be able to have longer sessions. Also in this book are things like the mentor assignments, so that we can make sure that our Speechcrafters get mentors and our members get the benefit of having someone to mentor. Also are the weekly schedules in there, so please take advantage of the opportunity to review those things if you can use any of those. I have one more opportunity. That's a favorite Toastmaster word we have. I have one more opportunity for you to provide some feedback. And I have a question for you. As good Toastmasters, we use every opportunity we can to promote our program. What are some of the things that you might say to the Speechcrafters in your group when you're going to talk up Toastmasters and let them know how they can make use of the things that they are learning? So please unmute yourself and give us some of your excellent answers.
For me, I would talk about the benefits that Toastmasters has given me for the real world and how you can transfer those out.
Absolutely, yes. And any special things you might want to highlight, John, of the benefits you've received from Toastmasters?
For me, it's actually been my job interview skills. The last couple of jobs I've gotten are because of my communication skills. And the meeting skills that I've been able to develop since have helped me in my last job quite a bit.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I would say how much people don't realize, but how much it makes you a better listener.
Good
by
point.
listening to other speeches.
Not everyone realized that the size of communication involves listening and speaking, as well as analyzing and evaluating and giving feedback. For sure, those are all good points. Mm-hmm. How about you, Catherine? Anything to add to that?
All of the above. I definitely have grown in my listening abilities. I joined Toastmasters because I wanted to tell people my opinion, but realized that listening was just as important, listening to others. Also, leadership skills. There's been so much opportunity because we have the opportunity to administer the program and run programs like Speechcraft, that we get a chance to develop programs and coordinate and work with a team of people that, you do that every day. I do that every day at work. I've also had an opportunity to grow while I've been growing in Toastmasters is growing at work. Like John had mentioned about interview skills, I have an opportunity to practice those regularly. And as I grow and move up in positions in my organization, and definitely Toastmasters has been instrumental in developing myself.
Excellent. Thank you very much for all those thoughts. Absolutely, all of the things you said. Any experienced Toastmaster will be able to tell you how many things that they have seen being developed in new Toastmasters. In our Toastmasters program, we often refer to our graduation as setting the little birdies free from the nest and letting them fly themselves. And it's absolutely one of the most gratifying parts of the Speechcraft program is to watch the growth and development of people. And they are able to realize the things that they are able to do at the end of Speechcraft that they wouldn't be able to do before, especially in self-confidence. One of the things we have on our list is the ability to sell things, not only to sell yourself, but there are a lot of people these days supplementing their income with things like home parties and Tupperware, and there's a lot of self-employed people trying to start up businesses and doing consulting. All of those people who don't have the benefit of an employer who is going to send them to these development courses as part of their employment when you're self-employed or doing private business like selling things would benefit greatly from this. So any of those people, if you've been able to convince them to join, you can then sell them on the ongoing benefits. And so those are many of the things that you can point out to the Speechcrafters of what they can do with it. Now, and at the last Speechcraft session, we normally have an education session, how you can transfer your Toastmaster skills to real life, because my personal belief is we don't become good at Toastmasters to be good Toastmasters. We become good at Toastmasters to be able to use those skills to benefit ourselves and others in our real life. And we try to get people to tell their personal stories, and there seems to be really not a shortage of people who've got wonderful stories to tell of the benefit they've received from Toastmasters, and telling personal stories is one of the best ways of promoting the program.
Guests are part of our clubs, and we always want to be promoting the attendance of guests at our meetings. Just because we're running Speechcraft does not mean that we would stop or we would not want guests to come. We've often had years where people have expressed interest after our program was full. We are fairly strict on our registrations because we need to provide value for the people who are registering. So we've invited those folks to attend as guests, and they get the opportunity to observe, to learn. They can join as a regular member, and as speaking slots and other spots on the program are available, they can still participate. They also have the benefit throughout the Speechcraft program, if they join as a member after the program has actually been filled, of listening to the education sessions being offered. And really, because the meeting itself is so energizing and so exciting, they really gain from being a part of that very positive experience. I know that over the years I've said often that my productivity on Mondays after lunch is so much greater than Mondays in the morning, and I do like Mondays, but my productivity on a Monday afternoon is greater because I've come from an energized and an exciting Toastmasters meeting, being surrounded by people that are what I aspire to be.
I mentioned before that each Speechcrafter gets a Speechcraft manual. Where you get those, I had said, was from Toastmasters International. You can purchase manuals, but you can also purchase the starter kit. That includes the Speechcraft coordinator guides. There's 3 of those, so you can give them out to 3 separate people who could be coordinating or assisting with the coordination of your Speechcraft. It also includes 5 Speechcraft manuals, as well as some brochures and the certificates to give to the participants in Speechcraft when they graduate, as well as give to the Speechcraft coordinator. Before you buy these, you should check with your area director, because at various years, depending on the decision of the district, there could be some free Speechcraft materials given out to low member clubs. Not wanting to put Catherine or John on the spot, but for the 2016-17 year, can you tell us what the offer might be for receiving of free Speechcraft material?
The requirement is 15 or under is eligible for a district-sponsored Speechcraft kit. All we require is a rough outline of your plan, so that we know when you're running your Speechcraft and what your planned marketing ability is.
Thank you, John. So we've told you how you can do all that, so your plan shouldn't be difficult. Am I right? They can just speak to their area director about this? I guess no response is an affirmative. So speak to your area director.
Yes, speak to your area director, or there's some information on the website, District 42, d42tm.org website, and you can, my email address is there. You can give me a call, Catherine Sakuniak, Club Growth Director.
Thank you very much to our two of our trio members for telling us that extra stuff. We've also said that you can Google stuff. Google can be your friend, so you can find out what other clubs have done, what other educational sessions people have put together, what other brilliant ideas people have got. So you can Google around to see what other resources people are using as part of their Speechcraft programs, and perhaps take some of those things and adopt them for use in your club.
Gaining new members really is something that Speechcraft can promote for you, because in the Wild Oats model, because we conduct Speechcraft as part of our regular meetings, our Speechcrafters become familiar with what we do, when we do it, and as I think I mentioned before, we want to create a Toastmaster habit so that they will know by the end of this program. They might have only signed up for 8 or 10 weeks, but they'll know by the end of the program whether or not this works in their schedule on the long run. As they get to know the people around and these people become their friends, they build relationships, and when they join, when they make the commitment to be an ongoing member, they know that they're doing that in a very familiar, safe environment. Many friendly faces that they will just continue along with on their journey of growth and development.
Connie touched on this before, and I really can't just say enough about the benefit of Speechcraft when it comes to engaging and educating our members. Before we started Speechcraft, I'm quite sure that there are a good number of members who had never looked at any of the Better Speaker or the Better Club series. They had maybe heard them being given, but they had never looked at them or had any intention of delivering them. This gives them an opportunity to read those things, to study them, to learn, and to deliver them. Now, we've got a bunch of topics, as we told you. People don't have to use the canned Toastmaster packages for that. You can write your own engaging and interesting and educational speech on those particular topics, and you can then get credit for having written a speech in one of your manuals. So there's lots of ways that the members can learn and grow through the educational sessions that are presented. There's also the opportunity to learn how to be a mentor. You need that for your Competent Leader manual. You need that for growth and development. And if you're not getting new members in your club, certainly enough new members to go around for everyone who wishes to become a mentor, that gives people an excellent opportunity to practice that. There's a lot of opportunities in the Speechcraft program to get little tick-offs in both your Competent Leadership manual and your Competent Communicator manual, and a variety of advanced topics too.
And then this final slide that we have features Jeanette Caldwell, who is shown here with her wonderful trophy for Division Director of the Year for 2015-16. Jeanette started with Speechcraft at Wild Oats, and she has gone on to really embrace Toastmasters as a program and gain so much from it. Catherine is featured here too. And I am on there, and Brad, we're actually all four of us past Division Directors of the Year and have been involved with and committed to Speechcraft or a participant in Speechcraft over the years. It truly is and has been a great learning experience for all of us. Now, any questions from anyone as we wrap up?
I have a question. This has come up from other people throughout the district. The Speechcraft program that you're running in your club seems to take a lot of weeks out of, I guess, time away from other members. So how do you make sure that the other members, your current members, are still reaching their goals?
one of the things that we have done is we've made sure that in our outline there is a speaking spot every week for each of our regular members. We really have used Speechcraft over the years as a membership building tool because we have seen membership ebb quite regularly, actually, from as time has gone on, and so we've needed to attract those new people, and we have not had a struggle allowing our regular members to meet their goals through the education sessions as well as the regular speaking spots. They are able to continue to participate and grow.
Also, on the other side of that coin, Speechcraft is often done in low member clubs who really need more members, and people are getting tired of performing several roles every week and putting on a great show so we can attract those people who come as guests. This offers a respite. People think Speechcraft is a lot of work, and it can initially be a lot of work to set up. We hope that what we've done is taken a lot of that work out of the process for you. But as Speechcraft goes, those Speechcrafters are learning to lead and conduct those meetings, and they're allowing Toastmasters to sit back and enjoy, where in a low member club you never really get the chance to sit back and enjoy. So that's the other side of the coin, is offering that benefit.
Definitely heard some comments or questions about that as well. Is, how many people does it take to run the Speechcraft? But I think you have addressed that. At the beginning, there's maybe a few people that you'll need, but once the Speechcrafters get rolling and they start taking on more of the roles in the meeting, it definitely helps. We've also, I know I've seen at Wild Oats, as well as other Speechcraft programs that have happened in southern Saskatchewan anyways, where members from other clubs would attend or help out or provide an educational at other club meetings. I know, Bev, you had mentioned you're kind of the table topics educational professional in southern Saskatchewan and going out to other clubs to do that.
Absolutely, that's correct. There's an old Toastmaster saying it only takes two people to have a meeting, one to speak and one to do the evaluation. And if someone really has a lot of energy, absolutely, one or two people could run this if you really needed to, but we recommend getting your friends to help you out and getting as many people as you can from other clubs to come and help you. And in turn, you'll be helping them.
One of the biggest successes I think that we had in our 2016 Speechcraft was that each of our education sessions was delivered by a different individual. Some of them club members and some guest Toastmasters. We even had some very new members step to the plate and deliver education sessions. So they get so much learning out of the preparation for the education session, the delivery of that education session, as well as their overall participation. It truly is a win in every aspect.
Does anyone else have questions?
If you had to summarize, what would be the one benefit that you would want a member to take away from running a Speechcraft?
From the club perspective to running Speechcraft?
Yes.
I guess it's hard to say just one thing, but I just think it's a whole skills development thing. Whatever the skill is you're trying to develop. If you want to develop your leadership skills, you can do it. If you want to develop your presentation skills, you can do it. If you want to develop your mentorship skills, you can do it. So it allows people the opportunity to develop whatever skill set that they wish to develop, and they can do that in a concentrated 8 to 10 week time frame. I don't know if Connie has anything else that she wants to add about what she thinks. I think she agrees with me. Does that answer your question, John?
Yep.
Any further questions? If not, then Connie and I are grateful to everyone for listening to our webinar. We wish you nothing but the best of success when you plan to put on your own Speechcraft. And then, of course, in the Toastmaster tradition, we're always around. As Catherine mentioned before, I'm the District 42 social media coordinator. I operate the Facebook site, so you can always reach me through the Facebook site, or if you know Connie or I or someone who knows it, we'd be happy to answer questions and share anything that we have that we can to help you make your program program go faster and easier and better. And with that, we'll turn it over back to our moderator, Catherine.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Just in some final comments, I know my personal experience with Speechcraft, it's a great opportunity to run a Speechcraft when you have not only you're looking for members, but if you have a large group of new members. As a member myself, I enjoy participating in Speechcraft because I get an opportunity to hear the educationals again and brush up on my skills, as well as be able to mentor or provide that educational material for new members. And I always appreciated that at our Wild Oats Club. On behalf of the District 42, the district trio, myself, John, and Carolyn, we'd like to thank Bev and Connie for presenting this webinar for us this evening. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you for taking the time to share your experience and to be available for people that need more information about how to run the Speechcraft. And don't forget to download the Speechcraft delivery guide template that Wild Oats has used throughout many years. It's a quick and easy way to get started with Speechcraft. It doesn't take a lot of preparation. You just follow along. All the agendas are there. Everything is available for you to just customize for your own club. And just remember, this is Wild Oats' take on the Speechcraft program. There's lots of different variations. You can take this and adopt it, or you can use that template and adapt it to your club experience. So once again, on behalf of District 42, we'd like to thank you for joining us, and a copy of this recording will be available on the District 42 website at d42tm.org. Have a great night.